Hi guys, welcome to Logged In with Teacher Dorita. I'm going to show you today how to do the trial balance. Okay, what I have on the screen right now is a correct completed trial balance. So you would have noticed from your textbooks and from attending class that you've never been required to do a trial balance from scratch. Usually in the textbook, they give you an incorrect trial balance that you then have to fix. You have to correct it and redo it so that it is correct. So the reason for this is because I don't know if you've thought about it, but where does all these balances and totals come from that you see in the trial balance? In real life, it would have come from your general ledger. Okay, so your trial balance is basically a list that you're putting together of all of the balances and totals that would come from the general ledger. So the reason why you've never done one from scratch is because it's not required it's not required in the syllabus for TOP N5 students to be able to do that. So you know that you only do the trial balance for the bank. You only do the general ledger for the bank and for petty cash. So because you don't do the full general ledger and you don't have that information even available in the textbook, they simply give you all the balances and totals in the trial balance. Okay, so anyway, for those of you maybe who wondered about it, now you know. The reason also for the trial balance, or if you want to think about the purpose of it, is for the company, for the bookkeeper, just to double check to see whether the total credits and the total debits and everything match up, that everything's been done correctly on the general ledger. All right. This is also where the double entry system now comes into play. Double entry system basically means for every debit, there has to be a credit, and for every credit, there has to be a debit. Okay, so you will see when we do the trial balance that things are now going to a different side if you think about debit and credit. So you'll see on the screen, I've made it yellow. On the trial balance, money paid will go on your debit side and money received will go on the credit side. Okay, we'll talk about it a bit more as we carry on. Okay, then it will make more sense to you. But basically, let's use capital as an example. Where will you have done the transaction where you show that you've received capital? You would show it on your cash receipt journal, right? And when you then put it on your general ledger, where does it go? Because it will be under the total of the bank column, right? It's going to go on the debit side. So that's the one side. Now you're showing it on the other side. You're showing it on the credit side because also it's money received. Right. So let's take a look at this trial balance. This one is a completed, correct one. This is basically what it should look like. Okay. Your trial balance is made up of two sections. The first section is the balance sheet section. I'm going to just Excel zoom it for you so you can see it at a glance. There we go. That is your balance sheet section. And the second section of your trial balance is the nominal account section. There we go. And from your trial balance, you're going to use the nominal account section to do an income statement, and you will use the balance sheet section to do the balance sheet. Okay, so this is why in your textbook, usually when you do a trial balance where they say take the incorrect trial balance and draw up the correct trial balance, and from there you do the income statement and you do the balance sheet. All right, that's where the information comes from. It comes from the trial balance. Okay, now, guys, there's no shortcut. The only way for you to be guaranteed that you will really do well with all of the statements, trial balance, balance sheet, and income statement, is that you have to know the format. You have to know the layout. Right, so this is the layout. You should all have this in your textbooks as well. Okay? You can literally go and learn all these words in this order. And when you get to the exam and you have to do draw up a correct trial balance, you're going to literally copy it as you've studied it. And from there, the only thing that will be different will be the amounts that you put in, because that's obviously always different per exercise, per question. So I've just added a column here on the left. It's just to make it a little bit easier, maybe to help you to remember what goes where. Okay, the first thing in your trial balance will always be your owner's equity. Owner's equity is everything that has to do with the owner, so that will include capital and drawings. Remember, drawings is when the owner takes money from the business for personal use. Right. The next part of your balance sheet section will be your fixed assets, and then they sometimes also refer to it as non-current assets. This will include land and buildings, vehicles, equipment or machinery, and furniture. Guys, always, you can learn this in this order. You have to know it like this. So fixed assets, just to help you to remember, a fixed asset is something that is going to be the same today and tomorrow. If you buy a car today, it's still going to be a car tomorrow, right? If you buy an office chair today, it's still going to be an office chair tomorrow. Fixed assets, they are the same today and tomorrow. Okay, then you've got current assets. This includes your bank, petty cash, cash float, and debtors control. So current assets will not be the same today and tomorrow, because you can see it's got to do with the cash, right? So your petty cash might be 1,500 Rand today, but tomorrow afternoon it's going to be 980 Rand. So it fluctuates, it changes, and that's why it's your current assets. It's literally the opposite of fixed assets. The next section, and this is the last section to your balance sheet section, is liabilities. So these are the things that comes with a bit of risk. It is your creditors control, fixed deposit, a loan, and a mortgage bond. Okay. The next part of your trial balance is your nominal account section. It only consists of two parts. The first one is income. which is all the money that you've received, commission received, rent received, interest on a current account, interest on a fixed deposit. Okay, and the next one is expenses. Literally everything that you've paid for. Advertisements, if you've given a donation to someone, fuel, interest on an overdraft, maintenance, membership fee, parking material, postage, refreshments, repairs, salaries, wages, water and electricity, sundry expenses. I've tried to put as many different ones on the list as I could. So literally all of your expenses. Okay. Now, the next thing that you need to know about the trial balance is that all of the B accounts needs to be numbered, and you start at B1. You number them, you just keep to the number order, B1, B2, B3, all the way down to B14. This one went up to B14. And the nominal account section, you're going to number them starting with N1, so N for nominal, B for balance sheet, and you just stick to the number order. You number them all the way down until you reach the last expense. They don't always allocate marks for this in the exam, but rather please remember to fill it in, because if they decide to allocate marks and you didn't do it, you're going to be very angry with yourself, because it's obviously not difficult. You just have to remember to do it. Okay, right. Then we need to talk about all these X's that you see here. So I didn't use values on my example trial balance. These X's just indicate on which side do you have to put the value, the rand value. Okay, so as I said before, with capital, it is money received. So we do put it on the credit side on the trial balance. All of these ones, drawings, land and buildings, vehicles, equipment and furniture, goes under the debit side because it is money that was paid. It went out of your pocket, out of your account. Okay. Bank is the only one that doesn't have a set, a definite, because it's going to depend if the bank was in a positive or if the bank was in a negative. If the bank was positive, it is money that was received, and you put that on the debit side. The bank is the other way around. It's the only exception. And if the bank was in a negative, it's money that was paid. It goes on the credit side. Okay, there's no other way for you to know this other than to just learn it and repeat it until you remember it. Okay, bank. Then we've got petty cash, cash float, and debtors control. All of this is money that we've paid. It went out of our pocket, so it comes on the debit side on the trial balance, money paid. Then we've got also fixed deposit, goes on our debit side as money paid. But what is that? The fixed deposit will be a situation where, let's say you've got 500,000 Rand and you go to Nedbank and you say to them, I want to invest this. I want to just leave it with you guys as a fixed deposit. Because then, guys, you earn interest from that fixed deposit. You make money from it. However, the money does go out of your pocket, out of your bank, into this fixed deposit account, and you don't have access to it for a certain period of time. It can be 2 years or 5 years, depending on the options that you choose. So yes, the money is still yours, you are making money from that money, but for now, the money has left your pocket. That's why we put fixed deposit under money paid. The other three that was left, creditors control, a loan, and a mortgage bond, goes on your credit side as money received. So, of course, if you take out a loan or you buy a property and you do it through getting finance and you've got a mortgage bond that you have to pay back, this is going to cost you money. Definitely more than you would want it to cost you. But for now, you did receive the money. You applied for the loan. You wanted it to be 100,000 Rand. You've received the 100,000 Rand. Yes, you're going to pay it back later with interest, but for now you're showing it as money received. That's why we put it on the credit side. Right. Under your nominal account section, it's a little bit more straightforward. You've got your income, which you will always show on the credit side because it's money received. And you've got your expenses, which you will always show on the debit side because it is money paid. Okay. At the end of your trial balance, your debit and your credit side needs to balance. It needs to be the same. It's a great way also for you to check if you've done it right or not. So if it doesn't balance, you know that you need to go and look for your mistake. What you can usually do is you can minus the one amount from the other one, and you divide the difference between them. You divide it by 2 because that sometimes gives you exactly the amount that you maybe just put on the wrong side. You put it on the debit side, it was supposed to be on the credit side. The other place where you should also look for your mistake first is with the bank. We find that if the trial balance doesn't balance, most of the time the students put the bank on the wrong side. So you just move banks, add everything up again, see if it balances, and then maybe you've fixed your mistake. But it's great because you can check and you can see, you will probably be able to see exactly where you went wrong. So that's great. Okay, I'm going to say it again. You have to learn this format. You have to know this format in this order. So remember, the column on the left, that's just my own thing that I put in there. You don't have to know that part. It will help you, but you're not going to get marks for that. Okay, you're getting marks for this part. You have to know all of these totals and balances and names of transactions or accounts in this order, because the order just helps you not to leave stuff out. And you have to know, when do you put it on the debit side and when do you put it on the credit side? Okay. For the nominal account section, I usually suggest to my students, you have to at least know the income. Make sure you know all the different types of income that could be in the question. And you must know that it goes on the credit side, and then the rest of them, they are expenses. But guys, you know the difference between income and expenses. So, I mean, don't go and learn all of these now out of your head. Just know that the expenses also go under the nominal account section. So I did a little summary. Maybe if you want to pause the video and just write this down, I think it will help a lot. It's literally the 6 things you need to remember, that you need to learn to do a perfect trial balance. So you've got owner's equity, capital and drawings, fixed assets, land and buildings, vehicle, equipment, furniture, current assets, bank, petty cash, cash float, and debtors control, liabilities, creditors control, fixed deposit, loan, and mortgage bond. That is your balance sheet section. Nominal account section is your income and your expenses. That's it. Maybe take a moment and write that down. Okay. I want us to do a question together. So what I've done is I've copied a question here on the left, and we're going to insert the answers here on the right. So there are many different ways in which they can ask you the trial balance. In this case, all the accounts are just listed. It's literally in alphabetical order. You'll see here. And the values are just put all in one column. They didn't put it on a debit or a credit side. And they didn't even split the totals for you between balance sheet section and nominal account section. So this is a little bit of a tough one. Obviously, if they give you a trial balance where they've split it for you between balance sheet section and nominal account section, that does help a lot. But rather prepare for the worst case scenario, and then anything easier than that is a bonus. Okay. How should you approach a question like this? Now, before you even do anything, the first thing that you should do is to make a little note and just indicate to yourself if this is a B account for balance sheet section or if it is an N account. Okay, I've just made a column here for myself so I can type. But in the exam, guys, you just take your pencil and quickly scribble down the letter B or the letter N next to the word. So by the time you transfer the information onto your correct trial balance, you're simply copying and pasting. So the first one we have is advertising. Apologies, my mouse just skipped the screen. Advertising. Now, advertising is what? It is an expense. It means it will be an N account. Okay, bank. We know that we're going to decide on which side bank has to go, but it will belong under the balance sheet section. Capital. Usually your capital is money that you've received. Okay, it goes under your balance sheet section. Commission received is income, so it's a straightforward income, money that you've made. So that will go under your nominal account section. The next one is creditors and debtors. We know that both of those fall under our balance sheet section. Drawings forms part of what? Can you remember? Let me show you. Your drawings forms part of your owner's equity. There we go, capital and drawings. I just want to make this bigger, sorry. So here you can clearly see your owner's equity, capital, and drawings. It means it will be under your B section. So we're going to insert it there now. Sorry guys, this is bugging me now. I want to make it even bigger. So when we come back to this, you can see properly. There we go. Okay, drawings is a B account. A fixed deposit, remember that's part of an investment. So that falls under your balance sheet section. Fuel is an expense, something that you had to pay, goes under nominal. Furniture goes under our balance sheet section. I'll show you. Furniture was here, it's part of your fixed assets, something that is the same today and tomorrow. furniture, B account. Interest on a fixed deposit is money that you're making, you're receiving it. It's an income, so it goes under your nominal account section. Interest on a mortgage bond is an expense. You have to pay that money, so it also goes under the N account. Land and buildings falls under our balance sheet section, and I'll show you part of your fixed assets. You've got land and building. A mortgage bond falls under your balance sheet section. If you remember here, it goes under your liabilities. You've got mortgage bond, so it's a B account. Office equipment will also be a B account. I'll show you here again. Equipment or machinery. So something like a big printer or printer copier, anything that you need for the office, it's a fixed asset that you bought. Petty cash falls under our B account, because remember, it forms part of your current assets. There you go, petty cash. Postage is an expense, simply something that you had to pay. So it falls under our expenses, which is a nominal account. Rent received is an income, goes under nominal. Salaries, security expenses, stationery, and telephone all are expenses, and they all go under your nominal account section, as well as wages and water and electricity. Vehicles is a balance sheet section account, and it forms part of your fixed assets. There we go. So what you've done now is you've taken your pencil, you've made a little note next to the account or the total to indicate to yourself, is it an N account or is it a B account? And from here, it's much easier now to insert it onto your correct trial balance. But can you see, guys, how important it is for you to know the format of the trial balance? Because you have to know which one is balance sheet and which one is nominal. And where does it go? The only way for you to know that is to learn it. Okay. After you've made your little note with your pencil indicating N or B, the next thing that you should do is to write out your trial balance format up to the liabilities, which is the last thing before you get to nominal account section. You copy that to your answer sheet because you have now studied really hard and you know it really well, ne? And you're going to copy it onto your answer sheet. For the nominal account section, I would suggest that you learn the income. Learn the income. But now don't go and learn all the expenses because it's a very long list. You don't need to. You know most now what is expenses, ne? So you're gonna, and also it's the last thing on the trial balance, so you don't need to worry about leaving space. Once you have written down your correct trial balance, you will now simply go and insert the information on the correct side, debit or credit, of your now new trial balance. Okay, so we're going to do that together. I'm going to work from the left. So the first thing I want to insert is advertising. I'm going to copy that amount. Advertising is an expense. That's why it will be under our nominal account section. Here we go. And we put it on the debit side because it was money paid. There we go, money paid. Let me make that in a color for you. The next one is bank. Okay, so let's just talk about that for a moment. There wasn't any specific instructions in this question to say that the bank is in a positive or the bank is in a negative. They didn't say anything. If the question doesn't specify, you can safely assume that the bank is positive. If the bank is negative, the question will make it clear to you. So if you don't see any clear instructions about a negative bank, you're going to assume that it's positive. Right, you're going to take your bank amount and copy it. Remember, bank, if it's positive, you show it on the debit side. Okay, next one is capital. You're going to copy your capital onto your new correct trial balance. We copy it on the credit side because it's money received. Next one is commission received. We know that that's an income, so it will be under our nominal account section. We show it on the credit side because it's money received. Then we have our creditors. You copy your amount for creditors and you're going to simply insert it now on your new correct trial balance. Creditors will always be inserted on the credit side and debtors will always be inserted on the debtors side. So that's also an easy one to remember. There we go. Drawings forms part of the owner's equity and it's money that was paid. So we insert it on the debit side. Fixed deposit. Remember, this is an investment. We're going to put it under our balance sheet section. Fixed deposit. Our next one is fuel. Fuel is simply an expense, something that we had to pay. So we know it will be under our nominal account section. And we put it on the debit side as money that was paid. Furniture. Furniture is part of our fixed assets. So we're going to insert it on our balance sheet section on the debit side because it was money paid. Interest on a fixed deposit. So when we receive interest on a fixed deposit, it's simply an income, interest on a fixed deposit. So it goes under the nominal account section on the credit side as money received. Interest on a mortgage bond. So we have to pay interest on a mortgage bond. So it's an expense, something that we pay. And it goes under our nominal account section on the debit side as money paid. Do you notice that interest can be positive or negative? It depends what the interest was for or on. So be very sure to pay attention to the whole sentence. Guys, sometimes you don't read the whole sentence. Read from the beginning until the end. Interest on a fixed deposit is positive. You're making money from this. It's money received. Interest on a mortgage bond, bad news. You're paying the interest on that bond that you've applied for. So it's an expense. Okay, land and buildings. We know that this is under our balance sheet section on the debit side. Our mortgage bond. So that is the actual mortgage bond that we are now paying the interest on. Here we go. Office equipment. Okay. Goes under our balance sheet section. Equipment. Petty cash, we also know, goes under our balance sheet section. Petty cash. Postage is something that we just had to pay, so it's an expense. And we have to put that under our nominal account section. We've got postage here. You just fill it in. Rent received, that's an income. And it goes under our nominal account section on the credit side as money received. Salaries is an expense that we had to pay. So it goes under our nominal account section under salaries. Security expenses goes under the nominal account section. Stationery, telephone, wages, and water and electricity. So I'm going to do that quickly. Okay, so I've just put you guys on pause and I've quickly done all of those expenses. The last one that we have left is vehicles. We know that vehicles is part of our balance sheet section, and you simply insert the amount under your debit side for money paid for your vehicles. So now what we've done is we've first done the work on the wrong trial balance, indicating is it an N or a B account. Then what you did is you wrote down and copied your correct trial balance format. And then you simply inserted the values on the right side, debit or credit. So we've inserted everything. Now you will see, if you learn this format as is and there wasn't an amount, like there was nothing for cash float, right? You just leave it blank. You don't have to draw a line through it or anything. You won't lose a mark for that. You just leave it blank. We've got our debtors control, our creditors control, our fixed deposit. There was no loan, so we can take out loan. And then for our nominal account section, we didn't have interest on a current account, so we just take it out. And under our expenses, there was a few expenses, but a lot of these that I had in here, we didn't use it. And that's not a problem at all. You just leave it blank. There we go. No insurance or membership fees or anything. I'm just deleting the crosses so that I can do a formula to add up the two columns. No refreshments, no rent paid. You simply just leave the ones blank that didn't have a value. So at the end, you should now be able to add up both of your columns and it should give you the same amount. So I haven't done it. I'm doing it with you. Let's see what happens. I think I'm nervous now. Okay, 8451,744. And we copy, well, let me rather do it the same way. Okay, we add up everything on the credit side as well. Yes, it balances. It means that all of the values are on the right side. And if this happens, chances that you've done it perfectly is pretty good. If it is out with whatever amount, just do a calculation where you take the one amount minus the other one. Okay? And then you divide it by 2. And that should be exactly the amount that you've put in the wrong place. Okay, but once you've done this, your trial balance is complete. You've put everything on the right place, on the right side, and your work is done. Okay. Chances that you will have to do this in the exam is 50-50. I don't know, because it's going to depend on whether they want you to do a full income statement and a full balance sheet. If that is the case, they're going to probably give you an already correct trial balance. But it could be the other way around, where they give you a trial balance to fix, and then they only ask an income statement and not a balance sheet. So it depends on what the examiner did. We will all see what happens. But for now, maybe just watch the video one more time to be sure. I hope I didn't go too fast. Guys, please, you are so welcome to let me know in the comments. You know, you can give me tips. You can maybe say, oh, Teacher Dorita, your font is too small. I can't see properly, or make it a bit bigger. I really want this to help you guys. So your feedback is valuable to me. Let me know if there's anything that I can improve on. And of course, if you've got questions on the trial balance or something specific that you didn't understand, just pop me a comment and I will definitely reply. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to click on that subscribe button, and also if you found it useful, please click on the like button, and I will be back soon with your balance sheet and your income statement. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.